Hey everyone, welcome to Saturday Night Yin. I'm Erin. We'll be moving through practice together this evening. We'll use a block and a blanket as optional props tonight, as usual. And we'll get started on our backs. So, finding your shape of choice. Starting to just get comfortable. Close the eyes. Allow the physical body to just relax, melt into the floor. Noticing if there's anywhere you're holding tension. Just gently giving those spaces permission to release. Take a few deep exhales together, beginning by exhaling all the air out of your lungs. Drawing a full inhale into the belly, ribs, and chest. Open mouth exhale, letting it be audible. Do that again. Inhaling through the nose, belly, ribs, chest. Audible exhale. Last time, inhaling to fill belly, ribs, chest. Sighing it out. Starting to just feel your breath moving in and out of your body with each inhale and exhale, without trying to change it in any way. Just letting it flow to its natural rhythm. Next, we'll start to gently rock the head from side to side. Keeping this movement slow. Trying to just move and warm up all of the muscles and little joints in the vertebrae of the neck, and on the shoulders. Eventually coming back to center. We'll inhale to draw right knee in towards the chest, left leg long. Release fingers around that right shin or thigh. Give it a squeeze. And then opening up the angle of that knee a little bit more, we'll bring the right hand to either the inside or outside of that right foot, finding a half happy baby. And here, maybe left palm grounds left hip. comes out wide. Maybe playing around with letting that right leg fall out towards the right, or keeping it in closer to the midline of the body. Use an inhale to draw right leg through center. And then exhale, we'll start to cross right leg over to the left, finding a twist. Here, maybe I'll use a block to support that right leg. An option here to bend the left knee. And reach with the right arm to grab that left foot. Thinking about keeping a little bit of tuck in the tailbone, pulling the ribs in to avoid flaring out the lower back. Another variation here would be to extend the right leg and maybe grab the right toes or foot with the left hand, if that is accessible for you. Starting to rebend the right knee if you straightened it. Using an inhale to roll back to center. And exhale, send that right leg out long. Inhale, left knee comes in towards the chest. We'll give that leg a squeeze, hugging it in with interlaced fingers. And then eventually opening up the knee, finding a half happy baby on the left side. Letting right arm fall wherever feels natural. Amazing. Inhale to bring left knee back to center. And then exhale to start to fall over into that twist. Side, setting up your props. And then choosing a variation with either leg, whether that's bending right knee, finding that quad stretch, or straightening the left leg long. And then bringing right hand to left foot. Under the knee or thigh. Getting to rebend left knee. Inhale, rolling back to center. And exhale, bend both legs and roll off to either side so that you can start to press yourself out to a seat. Cross-legged or other shape. Sits bones connected to the ground. We'll inhale, arms circle overhead, and bring palms together to touch. Exhale, drop that prayer shape behind the head, letting thumbs fall at the base of the neck. Inhale to lift through the sternum. Exhale. Couple breaths like that. Inhaling to lift, keeping shoulders dropped away from ears. Exhale, letting shoulders release. Next inhale, we'll interlace fingers and then bring them to cup the back of the head. Inhale to find length in the spine. Exhale, twist towards the right, finding this origination of this movement from the center of your belly, the core muscles. You might not twist as deep as if you were using your arms or gravity or something else to assist you, and that's fine. Just finding some breath and openness across the chest. This shape. Inhale to come through center. And exhale, twist over to the left. Keeping your seat nice and tall. Thinking about pressing elbows away from each other. Opening and widening. Last inhale here. Exhale to untwist the center. Release arms. And roll up the shoulders and neck a little bit. Taking some organic movement here, just doing whatever feels good. we'll rock back to hands and sits bones, and then both knees point soles of the feet out in front of us, so that we've got palms planted about underneath the shoulders. And then we're going to pick up a right foot and cross right ankle over left knee, finding a kind of figure four shape here. From here, you could roll down to the back and take a supine pigeon, or you could stay lifted up on palms, or drop down to the elbows. You want to find a little bit more of a chest opener this way. Keeping those right toes flexed back towards the knee. And exhale to start to let both legs fall over towards the left. Creating a little bit of a twist here. Eventually right foot might connect with the floor, or you could place a block under that right foot. Inhale to draw legs back to center. We'll exhale, release that right foot back down to the ground. Set up our second side, so picking up left leg, crossing left ankle over right knee, and then choosing where you go, maybe coming all the way down to a regular supine pigeon, or staying propped up here. Doing a slightly different variation on this shape. And eventually using an exhale to start dropping both legs over towards the right, finding that twist. Few breaths here. Next inhale, we'll pull everything to center. Exhale, release both legs out in front of us. Come back up to a regular seated shape. And then from here, we'll take legs out wide into a straddle shape. And we'll be here for a little bit, so you don't have to make this as wide as you possibly can. Just finding a comfortable stopping point for your legs. And thinking about rolling these out rather than letting them collapse in. Sending toes out and away from each other. Inhaling to find some length, rocking the pelvis forward. And exhale, leading from the heart, starting to fold towards the ground, and then eventually maybe rounding the upper back. It is a great place to use a block for support over the head. Or simply letting the weight of the upper body hang heavy, supporting yourself with your hands. rounding through the palms, eventually using an inhale to press back up to a seat, finding a neutral spine. Taking a few breaths here, noticing the effects of that shape that we just took. And I'm starting to walk hands to frame the right leg and twisting shoulders to face that right foot. We'll again inhale to find that length, and then exhale to start to fold over the right leg. Noticing how this feels different from the fold through the center. Noticing the softening and the releasing that comes as you hold these shapes. And pressing palms into the ground, inhaling to lift back up. Come through center, find that neutral spine again for a couple of breaths. Letting everything reset. And starting to twist over towards the left leg, framing each side with hands. Inhaling tall, and then exhaling, start to fold. This might feel the same as the first side, or it might feel very different. finding palms reconnected with the ground. You do an inhale to press yourself back up. Coming to center. And then taking hands outside the knees and just using your arms to help bring legs back in together. Windshield wiping the knees out a few times. Releasing everything in the back and in the hips. And then we'll bring soles of the feet together to touch. And knees drop out wide, setting up a butterfly pose. And then, like always, maybe bringing hands to ankles or maybe on the feet, towards ground, knees, wherever they want to fall. Finding that tall seat with an inhale, and then exhaling to hinge forward from hips. And then eventually let the shoulders round. And one more full breath. Butterfly fold. Eventually making your way back up. Using the arms to support you on the way. And again, maybe using hands to help draw knees back in together. And then cross up the ankles and rock forward to sit on the shins. Hero's pose. Letting palms rest on the thighs. And taking a few breaths to kind of let the natural curves of the spine settle back in. And then we use an inhale to lift hips away from the heels, coming up to stand on the knees. And then we'll step the right foot forward, finding a low lunge. So maybe widening out the stance of the feet. We're just starting to let the hips sink towards the ground and bring both hands to connect to that right thigh. And in the shape, really focusing on that hip flexor, so the front part of the left hip that's kind of reaching towards the ground. And keep shoulders tall. Next inhale, we'll lift left fingertips overhead. And then exhale, start to bend over towards the right. So creating some more opening through that outer left hip. Reaching through that left hand, finding length. One more full breath. And then inhaling to come back to center. And exhale to start to sit back towards that standing on the heels shape, I guess. And then from here, we'll come all the way back to sit on left heel, keeping right leg stretched out in front of us. And then start to walk hands back behind you. Setting up a half saddle pose or reclined heroes pose. So left heel can come outside the left hip so that you're sitting on the ground rather than on your left foot and heel. And from here, taking this as deep as is comfortable for you. Maybe you stay propped up on arms, maybe you drop down to elbows, maybe you can come all the way down to the ground. Finding a place where this shape feels good. And then if you come all the way down to the ground, you can start to just roll over onto your right side to unpin your left leg. Otherwise, we'll press back up onto palms. Eventually start to move back towards that lunge position. And then step the right leg back to hero's pose. And our breath or two here before moving on. And with an inhale, we'll lift hips away from heels. And then step left foot forward, setting up a low lunge on the left side. Keeping hips square to the front of the mat, grounding both palms into left thigh. And then just letting the hips sink towards the floor. Really thinking about making this about opening this front hip flexor. Using an inhale, right fingertips sweep high, and exhale, side bend towards the left. Keeping the core active so that we're not collapsing into the lower back. this full breath in this shape. And then inhaling back to center. And exhale to drop hands to the ground and start to sit the hips back. Finding that half saddle shape with right leg bent, left leg out long. So again, you can bring that heel, that whole foot to the outer edge of the right thigh. And then starting to walk back and find your variation of this. And maybe it's the same as what you did on the first side. Maybe it's different. And again, if you come all the way down to your back, just starting to roll over onto the left side of your body to come off of your right leg. And otherwise, if you're on elbows or palms, just pressing back up to a seat and coming forward up onto the knees. So you can find a hero's pose. And then from here, just walking hands forward out in front of you, letting the whole upper body drape over legs, and forehead connect to the ground. Child's pose. Taking a couple of rejuvenating breaths in this shape. Using an inhale to press up through tabletop. And then from here, making your way onto your back. Once you're there, we'll bend the knees, plant the soles of the feet in pretty close to the hips. Arms come alongside the body, palms grounding down near the feet. And then with an inhale, we'll start to lift hips high, arms sweep overhead. And exhale to roll back down, bringing palms back to the ground. Inhale to press and lift. Exhale to lower. Taking this nice and slow, inhaling to lift and to bridge. Exhaling to lower. Just move through two more of these. Using your breath to guide the pace of your movement. And after that second round, we'll just walk feet in together to touch, bringing soles of the feet to center and letting the knees fall out wide. Supta Konasana. Choosing where your arms fall. And come out alongside you, palms face up. for more receptive energy, or face down for more grounding. Hands can rest somewhere on the body, maybe come overhead. Slowing everything down. Finding a few more breaths here. Eventually beginning to make your way towards your final resting shape. Shavasana. Shape of renewal and relaxation. Feeling yourself really connect with the ground beneath you. Feeling all those points of contact. Allowing your whole body to be heavy on the floor. Letting the tongue soften away from the roof of the mouth. Softening the space between the eyebrows. Letting the eyes sink back into their sockets. Allowing the jaw to release. These last few minutes, class, finding stillness. A few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feeling that fresh air start to wake up and energize your body ever so slightly. Finding some small movements in the wrists and ankles, rocking the head side to side, and then rolling over to either side, curling up into a little ball. Giving yourself a few breaths to transition up to a seat, keeping the eyes closed. Drawing thumbs to heart center, your position, gratitude for practice and our ability to take some time out of our day and our week for it. Bringing thumbs to third eye center, acknowledging the light and teacher that exists in all of us and in all things. Namaste. All right, happy Saturday night to everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.